The champagne flute shattered against the marble floor, its golden bubbles fizzing out like the last remnants of her shattered dreams. Elena stood frozen in the doorway of their lavish apartment, the birthday cake she'd baked herself, chocolate with raspberry filling, his favorite, still clutched in her trembling hands. It was her 30th birthday, a milestone she'd planned to celebrate with the man she loved. But there he was, Mark, her husband of 5 years, locked in a passionate kiss with Jessica, his ex-girlfriend from college. The woman who'd always lingered in the shadows of their marriage like a ghost Elena could never fully exorcise. Time seemed to slow as Elena's world crumbled. The laughter from the surprise party guests faded into a distant hum. Mark pulled away, his eyes widening in horror as he spotted her. Elena, wait, it's not what it looks like. But it was exactly what it looked like. The betrayal burned hotter than the candles on the cake, which now tumbled to the floor in a mess of frosting and betrayal. Elena didn't scream or cry, not then. She turned on her heel and walked out, the door clicking shut behind her like the final nail in the coffin of their life together. That night, alone in a hotel room, the tears came in waves, drowning her in memories of the man she'd given everything to. Elena and Mark had met in their early 20s, fresh out of college and full of ambition. She was a rising star in marketing, he a charming salesman with a smile that could light up a room. Their whirlwind romance led to a fairy tale wedding, complete with vows of eternal love under a canopy of stars. But cracks had formed over time. Mark's job kept him traveling, and Elena often felt like she was holding their marriage together with sheer willpower. Jessica's name popped up occasionally, old photos on social media, a harmless lunch meeting. Elena had brushed it off, trusting him, trusting them. Now, that trust was ashes. The next morning, Elena called her lawyer. "I want a divorce," she said, her voice steady despite the storm raging inside. The process was brutal. Mark begged for forgiveness, sending flowers, texts, even showing up at her office with tears in his eyes. "It was a mistake, Elena. One stupid kiss. We've built a life together." But Elena couldn't unsee it. The image replayed in her mind like a nightmare on loop, the way his hands cupped Jessica's face, the familiarity in their embrace. It wasn't just a kiss, it was a revelation of the lies she'd ignored. Challenges mounted like storm clouds. Friends divided loyalties, some sided with Mark, calling her overreactive. "People make mistakes," her best friend Sarah said over coffee. "Forgive him." But Elena couldn't. Her family, traditional and insistent on working things out, pressured her to reconcile. Her mother called daily. "Marriage is hard, mija. Don't throw it away over one slip." Elena felt isolated, questioning her decision in the quiet hours. Was she being too harsh? Had she failed as a wife? Work became her sanctuary. As the head of marketing at Technova, a cutting-edge software company, Elena threw herself into projects. That's where Alexander came in. The CEO, a sharp-minded visionary in his mid-30s, had always admired her work ethic. Tall, with piercing blue eyes and a quiet intensity, he was the opposite of Mark's flashy charm. Alexander had pursued her subtly before, invitations to industry events, compliments on her strategies, but she'd been married, loyal. Now, single and raw, Elena noticed him differently. During a late-night strategy session, as they pored over data charts, Alexander looked up. "You've been through hell lately, haven't you?" His voice was gentle, not prying. Elena hesitated, then poured out her story. He listened without judgment, sharing his own past, a painful breakup that had left him wary of love. "Sometimes," he said, "the end of one chapter is the beginning of something better." Their connection deepened slowly, like a flower unfurling after a long winter. Alexander didn't push, he respected her space. They shared lunches, discussing everything from business trends to childhood dreams. Elena found herself laughing again, genuinely, for the first time in months. But doubts crept in. Was she ready? Was this rebound? And Mark, he wouldn't let go. He showed up at her apartment, drunk and remorseful. "I love you, Elena. Jessica means nothing. Please, come back." The confrontation came on a rainy afternoon. Elena had just signed the divorce papers, the ink still fresh. Mark cornered her in the parking lot of her building. "You're making a mistake," he snarled, his face twisted with desperation. "That CEO, he's just using you. You'll regret this." Elena stood tall, rain mingling with her tears. "No, Mark, you regret it. I deserve better than lies and half-hearted love." She walked away, leaving him soaked and broken. Resolution wasn't immediate. The divorce finalized after months of legal wrangling, assets divided, shared friends lost. Elena moved into a cozy apartment overlooking the city, a fresh start. Alexander proposed subtly, during a weekend getaway to the mountains. No grand gestures, just a quiet hike at dawn, the sun rising as he knelt with a simple diamond ring. Elena, you've shown me what real strength looks like. Will you build a future with me? They married in a small ceremony by the sea, surrounded by those who truly supported her, Sarah, her siblings, Alexander's close-knit family. Elena wore a flowing white dress, feeling reborn. As they exchanged vows, she glanced at the ocean, waves crashing like the turmoil she'd overcome. Mark, meanwhile, spiraled. News of the wedding hit him like a freight train. Friends whispered that he'd quit his job, drowning in regret. He messaged Elena obsessively at first, then went silent. Rumors swirled. He tried to win Jessica back, only to be rejected. Alone in the apartment they'd once shared, Mark stared at old photos, madness creeping in. What have I done? He muttered to empty rooms. Regret consumed him, a poison without antidote. Elena's life blossomed. With Alexander, she co-founded a nonprofit arm of Technova, empowering women in tech through mentorship programs. They traveled, built a home filled with laughter and trust. Challenges still arose, balancing careers, navigating in-law dynamics, but they faced them together, communicating openly. One evening, years later, Elena reflected on her journey while watching the sunset from their balcony. The pain of that birthday betrayal had forged her into someone unbreakable. She'd learned that love isn't about enduring betrayal, it's about choosing yourself first. The inspiring message: life's betrayals aren't endings, they're invitations to rise. Elena's story whispers to anyone nursing a broken heart: walk away from what diminishes you. Embrace the unknown, for on the other side waits a love that honors your worth. And to those who betray, regret is a harsh teacher, but it's yours to bear. Elena didn't just survive, she thrived, a testament to the power of self-respect and second chances.